Street. It's a popular place to go and an even more popular sign to steal. I'm Erica Moke, and I'll explain more coming up next on WVU News.
I'm Ann Wolfter, and coming up on WVU News, history has landed in Morgantown. I'll tell you about this unique opportunity in our area.
Approximately 77% of students report being bullied in school. I'm Jenna Keys, and straight ahead on WVU News, I'll tell you how social networks are increasing the numbers. WVU News starts now.
WVU and the state of West Virginia are remembering one of the state's most successful and generous entrepreneurs. I'm Erica Moke.
Straight ahead, find out how Morgantown residents are honoring his memory. I'm Dave Carl, and you're watching WVU News, an award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students at West Virginia University.
The American Cancer Society estimates nearly 1,600,000 people will be diagnosed with cancer in the United States this year alone.
That's right, Erica, and unfortunately, nearly 11,000 of those cases will be diagnosed in West Virginia. And one of Morgantown's most extraordinary men has passed due to the deadly disease.
And now thousands of people are paying tribute to a man who helped build this community. WVU News reporter Ashton Morris spoke with residents to see how the city of Morgantown is honoring his memory. Ashton.
Thanks, Erica and Dave. The passing of one of West Virginia's most prominent businessmen came as a shock to many in our area. But I found out Milan Pushkar was much more than the man in the boardroom. Almost 1,000 people attended a public viewing for Milan Pushkar Wednesday, October 13th at the Waterfront Place Hotel. And it was obvious from the stories exchanged and the looks on people's faces that he was a loved man who touched many lives.
The life he lived and the legacy he leaves behind have made West Virginia a better place for our children and grandchildren.
Milan Mike Pushkar passed away October 7th after an 8-year battle with cancer. At the age of 77, Mr. Pushkar was known for his accomplishments as an entrepreneur. But those who knew him best say he was much more than a businessman.
A man who had a prominent stature about him. You could tell, but he was so very humble, so very humble.
And that humble character showed through in his generosity, despite his larger-than-life accomplishments. Mr. Pushkar built Milan into one of the world's leading generic pharmaceutical companies. But he may be best known for a $20 million gift that makes his name infamous every game day. Mountaineer Field was renamed in Mr. Pushkar's honor in 2004 after he gave the largest single donation in the university's history. But it's not the only facility bestowed with Mr. Pushkar's name.
He's left the obvious imprints. There are businesses and streets and buildings that have his name on them. But I think maybe his best legacy in that vein are just the things that people probably don't even know about, the places that he donated his energy or his time or his efforts, his money, to make a kind of a small difference.
But no matter how big or how small, whether public or anonymous, those gifts will be a reminder of a man who made a difference. Mr. Pushkar's generosity continues even after his passing. He left a $100 million donation to WVU, in which his family says it will impact the students, athletes, and faculty for years to come. Erica and Dave, back to you.
Thanks, Ashton. Morgantown city officials say nearly 200 street signs are damaged, vandalized, or even stolen on a regular basis.
And the cost of replacing those signs adds up fast. I recently found out how the city plans to stop the theft and why they blame students for the crime. Street signs. Drivers and pedestrians use them to get around, but some students like Chris use them to decorate their apartments.
They're so easy to steal. Literally, all you have to do is just like pull on them and it comes right down. So I mean, it's just so easy to do, and it's cool to have like a university or like a high street sign. That's cool to have, so why not if it's that easy?
It might be easy, but it costs the city big bucks to replace these stolen signs. The price, around $50,000 to $60,000 a year.
This simple prank causes a lot of problems for not only the community, but for visitors as well.
And to some, taking these dorm room decorations may seem like a rite of passage. But if caught, you could face some serious penalties.
Well, if we caught someone in the act of actually stealing a street sign, what would happen was they would be arrested, they would be processed, and they would be transported before a magistrate to receive a bond, or they'd be booked into the regional jail.
It can cost anywhere between $30 and $300 to replace street signs. So to prevent theft and reduce cost, the city is resorting to plastic wraparound street signs, like the ones here on Grant Street. But as you can see, they don't stand up as well.
The city has to spend money to put the signs back up, and I mean, it does, I guess, it inconveniences people, and I do feel bad about it, but at the time, I guess I just don't really think about that.
And because of the amount of students in the area, officials say in the past, stealing street signs was somewhat accepted. Now they hope stricter penalties will put a stop to this college prank. Stealing, possessing, or even receiving a city street sign is punishable by fines up to $1,000.
That's right, Erica. If you've noticed a missing street sign in your area, you can report it to the Public Works Department. The link is at the bottom of your screen. Stealing street signs isn't the only problem among students, though. Half of public school principals report bullying, name-calling, and harassment as serious problems in their schools.
Bullying not only happens face-to-face, and because of text messaging and social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, bullying from schools has hit the web.
WVU News reporter Jenna Keys found out how some schools right here in the Mountain State are addressing the problem. Jenna?
Thanks, Dave and Erica. October is National Bullying Awareness Month, and schools across the state are educating students about bullying. I recently found out what policies schools are using to keep students safe in and out of the classroom. Bullying. It happens in every school and to almost every student. Nearly 7 out of 10 kids report being bullied at some point in their lives.
I had some friends and they were very mean to me, they betrayed me, and they called me names, and it really made me feel awful.
But experts say there is a simple way to stop bullying. When you see it, say something or get an adult to step in.
I'll tell them to stop, or pull one of them aside and ask them how that person would feel if they were doing that to them, and then usually they stop.
But there is a new form of bullying on the rise, cyberbullying. Over 25% of students have been bullied online or through texting.
The person that created Facebook, sometimes I wish he never invented it. It does create a lot. The texting and Facebook, we don't see as much Twitter around here, but it's more texting and Facebook, you know. I heard so-and-so call you ugly, or they'll get on Facebook and say, did you see so-and-so's outfit today?
Recent studies show that 1 out of every 4 kids is bullied in school, and those bad memories can stay with a child forever. 15-year-old Sabrina Dahlia still remembers what it felt like to be bullied in kindergarten.
It's made me feel embarrassed and I guess sad.
Now I'm really nervous to kind of talk to people about stuff, because that's how it started, is that somebody said something I said to somebody.
If you're the victim of bullying or cyberbullying, there is help. You can log on to the website at the bottom of your screen. The West Virginia Department of Education requires a strict zero-tolerance policy regarding bullying in all West Virginia schools. At East Fairmont High School, students caught bullying can be suspended for 3 to 5 days or expelled for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Jenna, for that report. While students are being educated on the effects of bullying, some Morgantown residents are taking a lesson in history. WVU News reporter Adam Woofter boarded an historical plane to find out how soldiers lived during World War II.
3 planes that flew in World War II visited the Morgantown airport recently. The planes are a part of the Wings of Freedom tour. Peter Saab is a war veteran who flew in planes like these during combat.
Our plane was called the Valiant Lady, which had a picture of the Statue of Liberty on the front of the plane like this one has.
The tour travels across the country and brings the planes to the public to see and touch. For many veterans, this is the first time in over 70 years that they have seen planes from that era. These World War II planes are some of the rarest in the world. This B-17 is only one of 16 others still in existence today.
A lot of our young men in the early 1940s gave their lives so that we could live the way that we live today. I think it's important that people know what they went through and how it came about that we're the way we are now.
This sacrifice is what the tour hopes these planes will help younger generations understand. Saab looks back and says these planes helped him think about his war experience.
I was so young, I didn't realize how serious it was. I did my job. I think the whole crew was the same way. we never thought about dying.
And now the Wings of Freedom Tour ensures the memories of those lost live on. The planes will be on tour across the eastern U.S. over the next several weeks. Adam Wolfter, WVU News, Morgantown.
The planes only landed in Morgantown for a few days. They'll visit over 100 cities in the country throughout the year.
That sounds like something worth seeing, Dave. And coming up on WVU Sports, Kelsey Pape finds out why Coach Dana Holgerson is speaking out. You don't want to miss it.
I'm Kelsey Pape, and straight ahead on WVU Sports, I'll tell you why all of these empty seats has Dana Holgerson upset with WVU fans.
Cheering on the Mountaineers, tailgating, and time with friends and family are all components of WVU football.
That's right, Erica, and WVU fans are known for the pride they have in their team. But head coach Dana Holgerson thinks something is missing. WVU News sports reporter Kelsey Pape joins us with more on the story. Kelsey?
Thanks, Dave and Erica. Coaches say fans are necessary to create an explosive environment to get the team pumped up on game day. But what happens when the game begins and the stands aren't filled? An average of 57,000 fans walk into Milan Pushkar Stadium every game day. Although the stands may look full, almost 4,000 tickets are being left unused. The lack of attendance has Coach Dana Holgerson questioning fan support. Coach Dana Holgerson says fans have 7 opportunities a year to come support the number 13 Mountaineers, and they aren't taking advantage of the opportunity.
Whatever our expectations are with our players as far as preparing every week and going to the game and playing their best, I highly encourage our students and our support to take the same approach.
Poor attendance, empty seats, and a lack of support has Coach Holgerson upset with the Mountaineer fan base. Some of the loyal fans can see where he is coming from.
Well, I can understand why you'd be upset because, as a coach, the fans are actually a 12th player. They really put a lot into it. It gets the team fired up and emotionally charged for the game.
60,000 fans packed the stadium when WVU took on number 1 LSU. 1 week later, the stadium held 20,000 less against Bowling Green. Coach Holgerson says fans are not loyal, and maybe all of these empty seats are proving it. Holgerson says it's really important to the athletic department, players, and coaches to have fan support despite the weather and the opponent.
All I heard about was how big of how much this meant to everybody across the state of West Virginia. And this was the NFL team here in town, and we're going to be there to support you. Well, having 40,000 people at a game isn't doing that.
While Holgerson believes his program is elite, he's not so sure about the fan base. There has been talk of WVU leaving the Big East Conference, but NCAA statistics show teams in other conferences have never had fewer than 73,000 fans per game. That's 16,000 more than WVU. Erica and Dave, back to you.
Thanks, Kelsey. Football games aren't the only thing residents are looking forward to attending this fall.
That's right, Erica. Research estimates nearly 41 million trick-or-treaters across the country will dress up and hit the streets this year. But children aren't the only ones looking for fun. Rich's Fright Farm in Smithfield, Pennsylvania has been frightening people of all ages for 22 years. It's one of the nation's premier haunted houses and hosts over 30,000 customers every year. Fright Farm runs all through October and wraps up on Halloween night. Tickets run between $19 and $35. For directions and more information, visit the Fright Farm website. The address is at the bottom of your screen.
For Little Ghouls and Goblins, Trick or Treat will take place in Morgantown October 31st from 6 to 7 p.m. Thanks for tuning in this week to WVU News. Remember to visit us online at our website. I'm Erica Moke.
And I'm Dave Carl. You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube. The address is at the bottom of your screen. Plus, follow our reporters on Twitter. Thanks for watching WVU News.